Is the Triumph Speed Twin 1200 capable of a European road trip? Well, I'm soon to find out in May. I've been invited to tag along with someone that contacted me through YouTube after I posted a comment about always wanting to go to Europe on my bike, but always worried about doing it on my own. Of course, I said yes straight away and immediately started booking the ferries and the hotels. Then my thoughts were all about the Triumph Speed Twin 1200. Would it be up for a long trip through France and Spain, and more importantly, would I be capable of long days in the saddle? I discussed my thoughts with my biker friend, who had just said that you could tour on any bike, and I guess he's right, but travelling to Europe for the first time on my Speed Twin will be something different for me. I started to look on YouTube for others that had done tours in Europe on their Speed Twin, and of course I found quite a few, and most of them obviously said it was okay, the bike handles quite well. However, since the Speed Twin is a modern classic roadster and not a dedicated touring bike, how would it react to a full day's riding through France to get to Spain? The engine, I know, will manage it very well. With its massive torque, it means it won't be constantly rolling through the gears. At motorway speeds it will sit comfortably in 6th gear with plenty roll-on power for overtaking. But fully loaded with luggage and panniers around tight bends, the bike will probably feel wallowy, even with the preload bumped up. The Speed Twin is physically smaller than it looks in most photographs. With its sharp sporty geometry, set back foot pegs and no wind protection, and a classic style bench seat which is quite thin, I know from experience 3 hours in the saddle becomes uncomfortable. You get knee cramps and you can suffer wind fatigue from the constant wind blast on your chest. So I'm expecting to feel quite drained after 300 miles of motorway riding. The fuel range may be an issue too. With its 14.5 litre tank, I will need to plan my stops more carefully compared to my fellow rider who has a bigger tank on his adventure bike. But then this allows me to take more rests from the saddle. Anyway, that's enough of all the negativity about my Speed Twin, as I'm committed to riding it to Europe on my first overseas adventure. There's so much to think about when you're booking an overseas trip. Thankfully, my new friend is leading me through everything to make sure the trip goes to plan. I have an ever-growing list of things, including bike insurance for Europe, breakdown insurance, medical insurance, France Critère stickers, GB stickers, my ferry crossing tickets, Eurotunnel crossing tickets, documents I need to take with me, and that's all before I even think about security and what to pack and what luggage I need for the bike. I decided already that I wanted to pack light as possible for the week away, so I chose to buy some luggage I had on my old 2019 Speed Twin, which worked quite well. The two 15-litre Triumph saddlebags on a dedicated rack fit perfectly. Security for the bike is a little bit more difficult. I wanted to take a chain and lock, but I think this would be too heavy, so I've opted to invest in a light lock shackle and take a couple of alarm disc locks. I hope that will be enough. Fortunately, Paul has done all the initial planning and mapped out all the routes for me, so all I need to do is to make sure that I'm booked in the same ferry and booked in the same hotels. The plan is to catch the ferry from Portsmouth to Cherbourg. We will then travel down to Bordeaux and stop over before touring around Andorra. We will then eventually make our way back up through France to the UK over the week. I'm really excited, as this will be an incredible milestone for me, and there's nothing like the mix of a dream come true. And oh my god, don't forget your passport. That comes with the first international motor trip, especially on a bike as iconic as my Triumph Speed Twin 1200. I hope you will join me in May as I head across the channel for my first big adventure.